Hey everyone, it's Amy from Amy Parker Art. I'm here with my friend Jamie from Creations of Studio 39. We both love helping creative entrepreneurs, hence the reason why we started this coffee chat just for you. So we are having our coffee and we're going to hang out with you today, and I'll let Jamie take it away to let you know what our topic is for this morning.
So, Amy, I was just thinking, have we been doing this a year now? Did we start last
I-
January or was it before then?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go back to our spreadsheet and look,
Yeah.
but I know it's been quite a while.
I was thinking we started in the new year, but it could have been, a little earlier, a little later than that. So, with the end of the year, what we decided to do, I think our last topic was maybe kind of similar, but since it is the end of the year and we're kind of, as business owners, looking towards the next year, we are talking about our top tips for planning a successful 2024. Because I think we're only like 3.5 weeks away or something from, right? From a
Yeah,
brand new year. Yeah.
right. Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah,
Already. Wow.
I know. So, and I actually, I was telling Amy before we got on here live that I helped out at a paint party last night. I was there for about 7 hours, setting up, cleaning up, the party and everything, and moving a little slow this morning. So I've already had my energy drink. I have had some matcha tea, and now I am drinking this actually very decadent protein shake. So I'm not having coffee this morning.
Wow. I
Yeah.
am having coffee this morning, and I usually have my French vanilla creamer, but
Oh, yeah.
today I'm having my peppermint mocha. So
Yum. I've
cheers to all of you.
I've had that a couple times already. I've had it iced, I've had it hot, I've had it like
And I
all
wish
different kinds of
that
ways.
our cup was clean, Jamie, but I see it in my sink this morning and I just haven't cleaned it, but I usually
That
have the
that
Amy
was
and
the one that I
Jamie
had my
clean one.
matcha tea in. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I'm
Good
getting some
morning,
weird.
Robin,
Oh, it's over
Tony.
there. Oh, yeah, there's Tony. So, not sure who that is.
Not sure either, but that's okay. We're glad that you're here. Hey, go ahead and spread the love for us. If you know anyone that is, an entrepreneur, an artist, a creative, and they want to discover how to do things online, please go ahead and invite them to come here and hang out with us. We would really appreciate that because we want to help as many people as we possibly can. Um, so anyway, let us know what you're having to drink this morning. Are you? Well, Robin said she's having coffee, and Tony said coffee with
Tony's still
pumpkin
doing the pumpkin
spice.
spice.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting this weird glare from my window over here. So, I need to go cover
Yes.
that up because
Go for
it's,
it.
yeah. So, go ahead and keep talking.
Okay. Bit blinding. I I
Yeah.
I can see that. Good morning. Thank you for being here with us. Yeah, so Jamie and I are pretty excited. We were talking about, it's been almost a year or maybe a year. I'm gonna have to check the spreadsheet of how long we've been doing these chats for you. And there's so many gold nuggets within each one that we do. So if you haven't seen them all, or if you want to check out a few more, go back on my page and Jamie's page. And we always leave the recordings for you right on our pages. So you can go back and kind of binge watch if you feel like it, and you might discover, a few new things that you could apply to your business or mindset. We're both very big on mindset as well. But yeah, because it's nearing the new year, we figured we would come on and talk about some top tips for you on planning a successful 2024. All right. So let me.
It really did not help because I'm still getting, so I'm trying to figure out if I
Oh,
can.
man.
There's a truck parked and it's very sunny today and it's reflecting off the truck and it's not normally there. So I can't find a spot. I have to sit like way back here at exactly the right spot so it doesn't reflect.
Yeah,
There's no way that I can. We don't have curtains or blinds right there. I can't.
that's a
I have to
pain.
go hang up a piece of paper or something over it or something. I don't know.
Right. Hopefully the truck will move so
Yeah.
that you are not blinded.
Yeah.
Let's cross our fingers. But we can still see you, Jamie, really
Okay.
well. So if you need to sit back, that's totally fine. As long as you can hear and we can have a conversation, we're good. We're
Yeah.
good. Good
Oh, I
morning,
see
Tammy,
Tammy, Cheryl.
Gail. Yes, awesome. I want to let you all know if you want to be on my text list for a reminder, just touch my face, go to the description, and I did put that in for you today, so you can jump on my remind text list. Jamie has remind as well, so I'm sure if you just type in, if you're not in her, she'll come back and give that to you if you want to be on her list as well.
So I am going over to your page and I was going to share our video into our groups. So I'm just so thrown off by that light. It's so bright. And as I was walking over towards it now, everything is kind of bright and I'm, yeah, seeing like dark spots.
Oh, this is nice. Tony saying, I just thought it was your normal glow.
Oh, right.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's what
Love
it is. But it, you
Well,
know, it was just so bright.
Here's a great example of when things go bad on a live, you just keep rolling.
Yeah.
You just keep going. You just work through the quirks, you know? Anyway, so if you have any questions for us about your business, or even if you're just thinking about a business and like what kind of things you can plan for, let us know because we're here to answer your questions. We'll just kind of have a conversation, Jamie and I, about things that we are planning for our upcoming 2024.
Well, we talked about, Amy, that we wanted to share what has worked in 2023 and what hasn't. So they can start kind of sharing. Yeah, exactly, Tammy. They can start sharing in the comments and we can kind of talk a little bit about that too. Remember, we said we were going to kind of start with that.
So go ahead and let us know what worked for you last year. We'll talk about what didn't work too, but let us know what worked for you last year. I can tell you things that has worked for me last year because I think it's important to identify what did work because sometimes as entrepreneurs we just get so many ideas, right? And so excited that we're always like, what else can we do? What can we do now? But if we go back and look at what worked and continue to implement that, then right off the bat, you're going to have a successful year because you already know that it works, right? So, you know, some of the things that has worked for me is, for instance, these coffee chats, right? Because I'm getting to know more of you. So I'm collaborating with Jamie and doing this coffee chat for you. And I've done some other collaborations this past year. One recently with the virtual collaborative art show, which is still ongoing. We're going to try and do that consistently. We'll see how it goes. We're going to test it out because business is about testing. So we're going to test it out for a few months and see how that goes. So if that works well, we'll continue to do that as also. And for me in my business, engagement posts work really well for my business too, you know, keep up the momentum. Jamie even has a membership that is a minuscule amount on engagement. So that's a very big part of, promoting and marketing yourself on social media. So that's one thing that did work for me that I'm going to continue to implement. Reels has been so popular. On Facebook, right? So, and that's my big go-to. I have other platforms as well, but that's my big go-to. And whatever works, you just keep on doing it. Monetization, that's another one. But I mean, I have so many. I could keep talking, but I'm going to keep
Yeah, I was going to say we
implementing.
could probably break down all the ones that you've already mentioned and have notes on every single one of,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let us know in the comments, good morning, Madeline. What has worked for you this year? What are you finding success with in 2023? What's been going on?
I'm kind of
Oh,
curious. It sounds like you've already kind of thought a little bit about what has worked, and I'm curious how did you organize that? Did you just make a list? Did you have like a spreadsheet? And
I
how did you quantify like that it was successful?
well, I quantify first off the spreadsheets. Um,
Because I know you kind of like spreadsheets.
I actually hate spreadsheets, Jamie. I am
I
an
was maybe
artist.
being a little sarcastic.
I am an artist, not a numbers person. But in business, we have to know our numbers. We have to definitely, that's one of the things that we have to do, right? So I do have some spreadsheets. That is on my to-do list for 2024. So thanks for bringing that up. But I do have a spreadsheet for things like this, for our coffee chat, some other aspects of my business. I have more of like a kind of bullet points in my Google Drive, and like I document certain things that I do with my business. So I find out, like, did I get the numbers to whatever it is that I'm doing? Right. Like, say I'm doing a big push, or I'll use the virtual collaborative art show because we just had our big grand opening on December 4th. So I call that a success because we were starting from zero scratch, right? And it is a collaborative thing with other artists, not just myself. So we had to work as a team to grow our group. And so I set a goal that everyone thought was like unattainable, right? Because we didn't have a big long runway.
Yeah, but
Um,
you have to set big goals.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go after
So
them.
it was 100 members by the grand opening day. And of course, we started like any group with zero. And we had 6 days to promo the show and do our grand opening. And we did our grand opening with 113 members. So
So
we
you did it.
exceeded our goal. Today we just reached 150. So I kind of write those bullet points down um to things like that. And because we did hit that goal, exceeded that goal, I'm like, this is working so far. And like a few minutes ago, I said we're going to try it out for a few months and see if the consistency stays good. And I quantify that. Everything is a little bit different. So this is a virtual collaborative art show with other artists. So as long as our presenting artists are growing their audiences, selling paintings, that stuff to me will let me know that, okay, this is a winner. This is something that we should
Yeah.
continue to keep doing. Now, I did let them all know right in the beginning, before our grand opening, that we're testing, we're trying it. Go ahead and do your grand opening live sale. And if you don't sell a painting, don't freak out and don't worry about it. I was transparent and honest with them, and I said, I'm going live. I'm going to show what I have available in my studio, but I'm not expecting to sell a painting. If I do, it's going to be an extra little bonus because we need numbers. We need to grow our group. The more, But guess what? I sold a painting, and not just me, but we had a few other
Other
artists
ones.
that sold paintings as well. So to us, it's like, whoa, that's a win. So
Yeah.
anyway, what about you, Jamie? How do you figure out what works for you and if you should keep going with
Yeah.
it?
And I guess what I was kind of thinking, and you were talking all about it, was success. A lot of people think of as money, right? It's successful if I made $100,000. I will have had a successful year if and a lot of it is around the money. And to me, the money is the result of the objective of what you're trying to look for that's successful. And that's what you were more talking about. You've talked about relationships, the engagement posts, the conversations that we're having on here, getting to know our audience better. So building relationships sounds like that's one of your parts of success. So you're tracking those numbers to show that you, yes, are building your audience, you're increasing your following, getting to know them. So I think first, before you do anything to plan a new year, you have to define what success means to you. And it's going to be different. It's going to be different every year. It's going to be different probably like every quarter. I know that I'm going to start planning on a 12-week system instead of the full year. So I am reading the book. I don't have it in here. It's called The 12-Week Year. So it's pretty easy to remember. But I would love to know in the comments, and I see a couple of people putting some things in there, like, what is your definition of success right now? Like in your business, where you are right now. So there's no judging. It is what it is. What you define as success does not have to be what somebody else defines as success. And
So
I think
true.
that there's such a, I don't know, like a stereotypical, well, they're successful because they've made six figures. They're successful because, and if there are people who haven't done that, I even think that there's a lot of a culture of you're successful if you work really hard and work 80 hours a week.
Right. Some of us feel like we do that.
But what if your idea of success right now, like I think I've listened to Amy Porterfield, and she got to the point where she like ended up in the hospital, right? With all of these different things going on because she was working herself. And
Yeah.
I think like Jamie Kern Lima and like different people, they have worked themselves so much that their idea of success after that was they wanted to go to a 4-day a week. I remember
Yeah.
Amy Porterfield's was, 4 days a week is what I want to work. Some people might see that as, oh, well, she's slacking, or she, how can she be as successful? Or, Chick-fil-A being closed on Sunday. I'm sure that people thought that they were ridiculous thinking that they could run a business like that and be closed on probably one of the busiest, most profitable days.
Right. Jamie, I have to interject for 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
I'm listening to what you're saying, but I have to run and blow my nose. My great niece has been here for 2 weeks. And little kids, I just love her so much, but of course I caught a cold. So I'm going to go blow my nose. I see a lot of conversation going on in the chat. So let me blow my nose. I'll come back in a minute and we'll go over some of your questions.
Okay. And I can't pull up the comments so that they pop up since Amy is hosting the StreamYard. But I see Kellen says that success is growth, joy in what I'm doing. I love that. And the relationships. Adrian, that's a great question for Amy when she comes back about selling your art. And she could probably even give you some details in her. She has a free group. I shared over into there, but I don't remember. Creative Dream.
Yeah, artist entrepreneur. It's
artist
a long
entrepreneurs.
One. But I love your little acronyms, Jamie, that you do. So I did one in my group too. I changed my name. So it's called C Day, but spelt with an E. So it's C/DAE. So it's Creative Dreams Artist.
That'll help me to remember it now.
Yeah. So thank you, Jamie. See, I'm learning so many things. Let me go up and see what you're all saying so we can
Yeah, so Kellen had one, and then Tammy had oh, I hadn't even seen that one back up there.
Couple of paint parties went better than others as number.
So she was talking about some of the things that have been going well.
Oh, right. That's awesome, Angel. A lot of new people, she said. Great. Let's see, Tammy. Set dates for January quarter meet. Easier to see what it wasn't working. Yes, my intended purpose.
I like that, Tammy. Yeah.
Yes.
Happier and defined. That's
Yes.
really good.
Right. Yeah, Tammy brings up a good point, which you talked about as well, Jamie. Like, you don't have to do everything. Sometimes we feel like, oh, we do, but, figure out what's important, what is starting a fire here or there in your business, and just, focus on those so that you don't get burnt out.
Yeah, like knowing what your priorities are.
Yeah.
So that they line up with what you consider successful.
I did put this one up earlier, but this is nice. Success is growth, joy, what I'm doing in relationships. Yes. I'll just answer this real quick, but Adrian asked me if it's better to sell our art with other artists. Really? The honest answer is it's better to sell your art any way that you can. That's the reason why I have.
Think you're probably going to say that.
Yeah, that's the reason why I have the membership Creative Warriors, because I teach you the multiple ways that I've found success selling my paintings online. So whatever works for you is the correct answer. But there's great power in collaboration. Success for me right now is not running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I've gotten so much better at saying no. Awesome, Tammy. Good for you.
I think that's probably something a lot of us struggle with, is the saying no, because we want to help people. We want to share how creating or, having art in your house or, whatever that is. We want to share that with people. And so we tend to sometimes discount that our time is valuable, and we say yes to too many things and spread our, and then we can't serve in the best way possible if we're spread out doing all different kinds of things. So
exactly. I agree too. And my friend Michelle Boardman, her and we talk a lot. She's in my accountability group. And I love when she says this to me, like if she can tell that I'm going to take on too much or whatever. She always reminds me, she's like, you know what? When I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. Yeah. And so when she says that, it really puts it in perspective to me. And it's like, okay, I need to find out what is important, what aligns with my dreams, goals, who I am. And, that helps me out.
Yeah. And that takes some work, I think, to really, I'm 3.5 years into my business and I'm still kind of figuring out, and sometimes you have to say no to things that, I read another book where they were talking about you have to focus on the 25% that's working, because that equals like the 80% of, but then that means you have to let go of the other 75% that's not, it's maybe working, but you can't devote your best stuff to that 25% if you're still over here doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's hard.
It is, because it's our baby, it's our business. Like it's things that
it's very personal to us.
And start, and it is very close. And sometimes we feel like, oh man, I'm gonna fail if I stop doing this. But just as important as figuring out what worked last year, meaning this year, 2023, to move forward, it's also very important to figure out what didn't work, because we need to let go of those things, or we need to pivot them in a different way and try it in a different way, one or the other. But yeah, you have to, I guess, use a little bit of intuitiveness, and however you track things. Maybe you are good at spreadsheets, to decide and determine, is this a total flop, or should I keep working at this, but in a different way? Let's see. Let me look at some more of these comments. Everybody's joining in the conversation today so much. I really love it.
Yeah.
Kellen says success
Yeah,
today
I
is
think
having.
this is just such a great topic for this time of year to really it takes some time to think through, reflecting,
Yeah,
journaling, having a list before you ever even really get to the calendar and kind of putting stuff on there. And because how do you know what to put on there if you haven't
right,
done that pre-work? Yeah.
right, exactly. Um, Not giving up, staying connected, show up and miss challenges. Yes. Yes, when people see what you love, it's contagious. I love that
Yeah,
line.
that's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
see your enthusiasm and they see your, it comes across. Yeah.
yeah. Yay for the word no.
It's so hard sometimes.
Oh man, let's see what Tony says. She had to cancel doing.
Oh, Tony, I like how you put soul caregiver. I don't know if it auto corrected to that or whatever instead of SOLE, the
Yeah.
soul caregiver. So, yeah, or maybe she meant to put it that way. So,
And Crystal, Robin says, my thing is having a time doing
Crystal,
it.
I understand about that. When I first went to college, I did not have a job. I had all the time. I was getting like, all of the meals and there was no structure it was like too much time. It was like too much. And I think that having something in there does help to like structure that so that you can budget your time and time block and some things
Yeah.
like that better. So yeah, I totally understand that.
You can make it easy though. She's one of my creative warriors. So Robin, you can ask a question anytime you want in our membership. But I've touched on this before, I think, during one of our coffee chats where I set up a simple system for myself in the morning when I turn the computer on. Of course, I don't just wake up and turn the computer on. Okay. I have
You gotta
my
wake up a
coffee. I
little bit.
usually take a morning walk. I meditate. I do a little reading. I wake up a little bit. But when I turn on the computer, I have a task list that I open immediately. It's the first thing that I open. And I thought about that when I set this up months and months ago. Actually, it was almost a year ago, I would say.
Mm.
Um, and it has less than 10 tasks on it. I think it has maybe 6. And then I go through that system every morning. It takes me about an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depending on how busy I am. But it's just a little system for me that I set up for my own business and to help me stay focused and make things a little bit easier. So you don't need to make your systems or routines like ridiculously hard or
Yeah.
put so many things in there that it's impossible to do. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, like what we were talking about, like what's the most important thing? What's going to light a fire? What's going to get things going? What do it's very important. So those are the things on my task list in the morning is things that I know need to be done and it's going to help me move forward. Daryl says, know a lot about having to say no, but I also doing the best I can to show up and enjoy every meaningful moment.
Oh, I
That's
like that.
beautiful.
Every meaningful moment.
Yes, very nice. Awesome.
Yeah. So I think we talked about like reflecting definitely is part of getting to the point where um, you can plan out your year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was talking about in my Creative Business Owner Basics, which is my free group, that I took an overnight planning. So I would love to know if anybody has ever done that because it's something that I've thought about for the past couple of years. Like I wanted to get away. There's something about getting away from your, if I sit here in my studio, there's lots of other things I feel like I could be doing. I'm in my house. There's lots of other things I feel like I could be doing. So
Yeah.
there's something about getting away, getting overnight, not bringing your other stuff, only being focused on planning. So I had already kind of thought through maybe some of the things that we're talking about, reflecting and what's working and what do I want to, do differently, what I want to do the same, those kinds of things. And that was really all that I took with me. And I would just encourage any entrepreneur that's on here, even if that only means like 2 hours at a coffee shop, like get away and plan for the new year. Don't try to do it because it's a new year. I feel like maybe that going to a new place, doing something different, I think that just kind of triggers your brain to say, okay, this is different.
I agree.
And it's new and
Yep.
I think that's why we're all kind of attracted to a new year. We can kind of start over. We can do new things. We can try, it's kind of like just a new start.
Yep.
But that was very beneficial. And I just felt like it was a really valuable use of my time, pretty low investment. But even if it was just a few hours at a coffee shop to get away and bring your calendar, bring your Post-it notes, a notebook, minimal stuff so you're not distracted with other things. Put your phone aside and just start to kind of plan out and look ahead to how you want to structure things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great that you told them too. It doesn't have to be an overnight anywhere. You literally can do, like Jamie said, a couple hours at a coffee shop. What I did actually at the end of the summer, there was sometimes when we think so much about our business, we get that, like, what do you call it? Paralysis, right? You get like, I can't remember the exact term.
Paralysis, analysis paralysis. Is that what?
Yes, something like that. And I was feeling that, and I know myself when I start to get that feeling, it's like, okay, if I don't change where I am or what I'm doing, I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to be like thinking way too much. And, so at the beginning of the summer, the end of the summer, it was almost fall time. I was having one of those days and I literally just packed a bag. I already had like a mini paint and plein air kit that I have set up to carry wherever. So I grabbed that, but I also grabbed, like what you're just saying, Jamie, my notebook, minimal stuff, right? I had my cell phone, but I went to the beach and I walked all the way to the end where there were no people. So it was just me looking at the boats and hanging out, watching the seagulls. And oh my gosh, what a wonderful time that was. I stayed for a couple of hours, maybe even long, maybe like 3 hours, but I got a lot done. So yeah, that just proves your point that you were talking about. I did write a lot of things in the notebook. I actually created a mini painting and, got some things accomplished. So it really helped me get back into, on track.
Yeah.
Diana says, our coffee's brewing. Awesome, Diana. Let me see what you're all saying here.
Yeah, Robin says planning out the beach sounds perfect. I agree. That's on my next to do. Dream board is to plan at the beach next time.
Yeah. I love the beach.
Near the beach. So
yeah, awesome, Jan. Jan is one of my new BFFs. She's amazing. Jan Hauser. We did a chat together, her and I, in Creative Dreams. If you didn't see it, you can go check it out. Let's see. Robin says, I should remember that from Mary Kay. Set your 6 most important things to do daily, taskless, and carry over what doesn't get done. I love Google Calendars for this because you literally can drag it over. Like, just pull it over. So, and direct sales businesses, they're really good with stuff like that. So if you've ever been in one, I know I have. I've been in multiple ones. I've learned a lot, just like you were saying, Robin, with that tip. Adrian, Jamie, obsessed with going live every day in the morning. Do you, can you read that okay, Jamie? Because that's for you.
Yeah. So there is something about being consistent doing the same time versus what time is I was just talking to my Engagement Made Easy membership the other night, and somebody asked about what time is the best time to post. So it's along the same. Really, what someone's asking is, when am I going to get the most engagement? Right? When am I going to get the most people seeing? And I was kind of explaining that I think that that really is different for everyone because of their following. Like, I know someone during the pandemic, she was going live at 11 p.m. every single night, and she was getting thousands of people, like a lot of people to come back, and it became something that became consistent. So 10:30 on a Monday morning, which is when I go live, is probably the least favorable time to go live, right? Because it's mid-morning, people are already at work, whatever. But that was the time that I chose when I first started. And now that's become a predictable time that people know, even if they don't get to see it live, they can come back and watch the replay. So are there some times that potentially could be, I guess, a higher probability? Well, sure, probably in the evening. Probably in the evening is when people are going to be available. But is that always the case? Is that the case for your, if your audience is young moms who have kids in sports, yeah, they're probably not watching in the, evening dinner time. Their time is probably after the kids go to bed at 11 p.m., and they're sacrificing sleep so that they can, do something for themselves. So I think it really just all depends on your following. And I mean, I think that that's true for whatever it is that we're planning. It's going to be different. So Amy and I can share tips, but they're tips that have worked for us, that we've tested and we've tried and we put action to. So we can give you tips, but really it's, okay, let me try it. And then you track things, like use the metrics that you're going to track, and with no judgment, like no opinions. It's just information. I invited this many people showed up, this is how much I made, or, whatever it is. And it's just looking at, was it successful? Did it work? Okay, well, let me tweak this one thing. So maybe the one thing is you're doing it at a different time.
Yeah.
And then test that and then see if that works. So
I think it's great that you said test that one thing. Like, so basically meaning if you're going to tweak something, try one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Because if you change too many things,
yeah, then you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, did this work? Did that? Well, what did work, right? I'm not sure what this means. Lisa, can you explain a little more? How do I improve on faces?
Yeah, I thought that maybe that was one of the things that she just put that she wanted to improve and put on her, 2024 calendar, that she wanted to, if that means taking classes, watching tutorials, practice, are you going to put 15 minutes a day to practicing? Or Monday's going to be eyes, Tuesday's going to be a nose,
Oh, okay.
So that was how but I'm not sure.
So I see a lot of comments in here. Everyone loved the idea of trying to get out of your own environment so that you can think a little more clearly if you are stuck like that.
And I will say, I think I mentioned this on my video the other day, it doesn't have to be before the end of the year. Like, right. I don't think you need to plan before December 31st for next year. It can be middle of January. It can be the end of January. It can, I don't think that you need to pressure yourself to feel like you have to, because there's a lot going on in December. And, and then if you have family in town or, whatever around the holidays, and don't put that kind of pressure on yourself that you have to get it done by then. I think it was just last year, I completely took that pressure off myself and just, I'm going to do it in January when I feel that I had some time to kind of reflect on things. And I think I took the whole month of January to try out some different things, try different routines in the morning or whatever, So then I could use that to kind of, okay, now this is what I've decided I'm going to go forward. So my year actually started on February 1st.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving them the pass on that and the okay,
Yeah.
because I mean, it is true. And I think a lot of us, I mean, we know from like so many years of everybody setting, New Year's resolutions and stuff. I think we all feel bad after if we, when we don't complete it, but you just listen to Jamie where, you can start it at a different time
Yeah.
and listen to what I said about my daily tasks, right? That I made it simple. I have like 6 things on there that I do. So I don't like go overboard with so much stuff in one day that it's impossible to get through. Because can we do that? Yeah, of course we can.
Yeah.
We're trying to run a business. Um but I think that we've touched on a lot of really good points here for helping you out for this coming year. So, yeah, please let us know if you have any more questions or if there's something in particular you want us to talk about or something that you would like to share, maybe where you're struggling with your business and wondering, what to do for the upcoming year. Anything like that, we will. I'm reading your comments right now. We'll help you out with. Start working on it, get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kellen was kind of saying the same thing. Yeah, it doesn't have to. There were a couple of things that I didn't finish last weekend. I have a calendar that I got at Dollar Tree that's, kind of a desk calendar. And I was using my Post-it notes and kind of planning on that. But then I do have like a year at a glance calendar that I want to put like right here where I can see it.
Yeah.
And I haven't transferred the things over to that. So yeah, there are definitely things that I don't have all planned out, and I don't have the, um, all of the work done on. So say you have a launch of something, whatever it is, in person, virtual event or something. I don't have like all the emails or all the posts, or I don't have all that done, but at least kind of planning out, because here's what I feel like planning out has done for me is it's kept me from taking on too much, having things overlap, right? Like sometimes if I'm planning in the moment kind of and I'm only planning for like next month, I don't see how things will overlap that I can't manage. Whereas I wanted to plan out the full year, kind of have that year at a glance calendar so that I could kind of see like, oh, wait, I can't do that week because I'm also going to be doing this that overlaps from the previous month. Or,
Yeah.
you can't see that when you're only looking month to month.
Yeah. Kellen, go ahead, put it in here and we'll pull up your question. Yeah, thanks for saying that, Jamie. And I think that's a really good point that you bring up, that we should at least have some idea, something to work on. What are our big goals, whether it's for the entire year, like one thing, or maybe you want to break down 4 things for the quarters,
Yeah.
or something to so just like what Jamie said, so you don't get overwhelmed when then you're looking at your monthly or your weekly, because then you will know like, okay, I'm going to be focused on this thing for this coming month, or
Yeah.
whatever it is for you. And you don't have to. You can plan however your brain works, right? If you want to do calendars like Jamie's talking about, that you literally can write on and you can see and you can put, by your desk. Or if
And you
you
can
want,
color code them.
yes, right. Yes. Or you can use your Google Docs and your Google Calendar, like I use quite a bit. I write things down too, don't get me wrong, but I do a lot of, digital stuff. So either way is okay, but just, get something on the books for you. Let's see. Let's Sarah. Sit down.
Yeah, working on it
Oh,
little spurts or waiting until
yeah.
January. Yeah. I think either one of those works.
It's
And
okay, Gidget.
oh, yeah, yeah, the replay will be on there, and then I think it shows up in the event too, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
replay. It might be like in the comments. I've noticed of the and not up in the, display.
Here's Kellen's question. Maya.
Yeah, I actually don't know the answer for you on this one, so.
Okay. Yeah, it is kind of a personal choice, right? Because she's asking if she, do you think I should have my office desk where I do my work stuff on the computer? Should it be in a different room from where I create? What I've been spending so much time doing, all behind the scenes stuff, I don't want to go back into my studio to paint. Then that tells me that yes, you should move it. Because
Yeah.
if you don't want to, oops, I got a glitch on here. Okay, sorry. I had a glitch. I was trying to look and move comments. So Kellen, just from that line I read, then you probably should have it in a different spot. If you have the room in your house, then do it, because that way you'll kind of condition your brain too. Like when you go sit at this spot to work on the computer, then that's what's going to happen. And then when you walk into your studio to paint, you have some things set up. We always should have some things set up in our studio. So when we walk in, it's like, okay, no excuse. I can grab my brushes and start doing something. So I think just by reading that one line in there, I think that would help you to separate it. That's just my opinion. You'll have to try it.
I think it does depend on your house and how it's set up or where you're living. Like I don't have the space to do two different places. So where I'm sitting right now, all I basically have to do is kind of turn this way and slide my chair over and I'm in my creative space. Because for me, I think you have to notice the side effects. I'll call them side effects. The side effects of not being creative. I know for me, I start getting a little anxious. I start getting like fidgety. And I didn't realize why at first. But today, I'm going to spend some time creating because I've gone several days now really without doing something just for me, just, creating in my journal or, whatever it is that's not even related to anything that I'm doing work, like I think it's been since Monday. So I've gone several days now without really doing something creative and I'm starting to feel anxious. I'm starting to feel like fidgety. And you have to notice what that is. So for me, if I'm sitting here at my computer and I'm doing a lot of left brain work on the computer, answering spreadsheets, emails, all of that is not creative kind of work. I want to have space right here. I want to have my things out and I want to, in 2 seconds, be able to move right over to my space here. And that's what's worked for me because I can notice when I've done too much of that left-brained activity that I need to get over to that. So I understand what Kellen's saying about sometimes you're so busy doing all of the work-related stuff, and it is stuff that needs to get done. But I have learned you're always, like when we leave, like permanently leave, when you're still going to have a to-do list. So there's always going to be things to do. And I've learned that I'm a much better person. I'm a much better business owner if I set some of that stuff aside, have my priorities, get those things done. But then I also take time to be creative for me because that's what energizes me.
Yeah. Yeah. We all need that creative time for sure. And I think you get a good point to kind of know yourself.
Kellen's saying exactly that in her moods. And
know when you
pull up Diana's comment right there.
Let me see. There's so many flying by here today, which is great.
It's the one right up above where it starts my blood pressure.
Whoops. Let's see.
It's lower when she creates. That is awesome.
I mean, it is proven by science. There's
Yeah.
so
But
many.
I mean, there's proof. Diana just told us.
Yep, yep. Let's see here. Robin says, might be off topic, but have you any, get more Google storage for your device, my computer. And I think it's affecting, I haven't had to get that. I mean, I use Google Photos too, but I also use Dropbox. I have iPhone and iCloud. I have all that stuff. And if it notifies you to, pay for more storage and you can do that, then do it. If you want to switch over to something else, like I said, I just mentioned multiple things that I use for storage. Also, what I've been doing this morning, before Jamie and I popped on, give me 1 second, is my external hard drive. You all should have an external hard drive,
Yeah, I don't have
um,
one.
or multiple ones if you are working online. This thing could power a small country. This is 4 terabytes of
Mm,
storage. I don't know how much it cost, but I'm sure it was a pretty penny. My husband bought it for me a few years ago for Christmas, and it really helps me to put a lot of things on my external hard drive. So yeah, external hard drive, Dropbox. Dropbox is free to start. I pay for it now, but it's free to start out. You can have more storage that way. If you do the iCloud thing, I pay a little bit for that, but anyway,
yeah,
there's multiple ways that you could
yeah.
store.
I
Yeah.
know there's a webinar that I've watched of Amy Porterfield's, and she goes through, I think, 3 different systems of how she organizes everything. And she talks about Dropbox and Google Docs and, what she puts where and all of that kind of thing. I forget who it was that said that, Crystal or Robin, it looks like you were calling her.
Yeah.
Um, I am definitely one who does not clean out my email. And I've had my Gmail now for, I don't know, 15, 18 years or whatever it is. So it got to the point where, I mean, it would take me, a week, probably a good solid week to like clear out everything and go through all of it. And I look at it, I scan it, but then I don't delete it. So I do get those messages, and I am paying for the minimal extra amount. So I have gotten a little bit better. So what I do is I go in and I search for whatever the email is that I know that I want to delete so that I can pull up all of them that I haven't deleted. And then I do go in little spurts where I try to unsubscribe too. So then you're
Yeah.
not continually getting those. And I select all of them after I've kind of reviewed whether I can actually, and most of the time I just delete them because then that takes me more time to look through them. And if they're
Yeah.
3 years old, I don't need them anymore.
Right. Right.
So I have had to go through, but yeah, I won't even tell you how many emails I have sitting in my original Gmail. So now I have one for my business that I keep a little bit more cleaned out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I believe
So I
it.
have paid. I don't have the external storage, but I do pay for, I think it's $1.99 per month to pay for the extra storage. So
Yeah.
pretty minimal.
Jamie, guess what?
What?
Well, emails is one of the things on my task list in the morning, my
Mm,
morning routine.
yeah.
And I was just like you, like, oh my gosh, I'm just system overload with the emails. But that is on my task list. Like I said, I've been doing this task list I set up for myself, my
Yeah,
morning
for like a
routine.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of freaking out with everything in my inbox, that is on my routine. But what I will do is, like I said, I told you all earlier, I time myself. I give my, typically takes me an hour for my routine in the morning. Um, and sometimes it will go a couple hours depending on how busy I am. But with the emails, for instance, I will go into my inbox. I will open up what's urgent to me, and important for me to read or reply back to. And then I will take a few minutes to go back down through and delete what I don't need anymore. And sometimes my inbox is so overwhelming, I can't go through everything because I don't want to delete everything and miss something. So I'll do what I can within that time frame I give myself. And then after a while, after so many days and weeks and months, guess what? It's all cleaned up now. So that's just an example of like just doing something little each day
Yeah.
can kind of help.
Yeah. The whole
Um,
idea of the compounding
yeah.
activities.
Cheryl says, another mentoring group I'm in, we talk about identifying, putting up big rocks on the calendar, most important
Yeah.
non-negotiables. Like, yeah, because
Yeah. I
we're
did that too,
people.
Cheryl.
We're
Yeah. My
people. We need
husband's
to do
60th
what's
birthday
important.
is coming up, and I put that on the calendar and some different things that we have that I know are happening so that, yeah, they're on there first.
Kitchen. This cracks me up. I mean, I'm laughing because I can relate. I know,
Yeah.
right? I'm an artist too. Um, let's see if there's any more questions in here. Let's see.
Kellen just put one at the end there about Trello.
Okay. I pulled Sarah's up. Let's see what this one is first, and then we'll go to Kellen. Question, I never thought about it before. How
Oh,
do you pull up people's comments? Is that part of a streaming program you're using? Okay, so Jamie, do you think she means when we are live and
yeah.
we're reading?
So, yeah, we're using StreamYard, and that's what allows you to pull up comments like that.
Okay. And then you said Kellen has a question in here. Let's see.
Yeah, she was asking about Trello.
It must be way down. Okay, let's see. Amy, I know that you use Trello, correct? Yes, I do. Do you find that the best way to keep track of projects and lists? I really love it. And it is one of the ways that helps me. For instance, I use Trello for my membership, Creative Warriors, for my deliverables, it's called. I use it for other things as well, but this is one of the important things that I use it for. So deliverables, meaning what I give my members every single month. Kellen used to be a Creative Warrior, so you know what I'm talking about. So I give them a chapter challenge every month, a marketing tip every month, a social media tip. We do brainstorm sessions, a Q&A, things like that to help with business. So I use my Trello board and I can drag and drop. I can open up my
Yeah.
cards and write in what I need to do. So those deliverables that I make, the ones that are tips and trainings and things like that, I can go into that card on my Trello and I can put the link once I create it. So when I have the energy and I know what I'm going to teach them that month or, give them, I will record it. I can put those links right into Trello. So everything is nicely organized for that. And I've been using that for, maybe 2 years now, at least for my deliverables. So I do really love Trello for that reason.
Yeah.
Trello is free, by the way. You can pay, but it's one of those things that when you start out, it's free.
Yeah. I've used it some, but I haven't, because it is a lot of front end work. But once you have it in place, then it's a system that you can use to store the information in a much easier way than. So I know right now I haven't taken the time in Trello, but I know there are some areas that it would make a lot more things more efficient if I had them there. But I haven't set aside the time to put them there on the front end because that takes up, yeah. So.
Yeah, you're right. There's not just Trello. There's many programs and softwares that, you do need to spend time on the front end, but once you have it set up, it gets, a little bit easier and it's helpful. So it's just a matter of figuring out what makes sense to you. Some of us like the look of Trello and how it works. Some of us would rather
It's
just,
pretty visual. You can make it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I know we have a couple of different things that are kind of that one, and then Camilla just asked a question that are pretty far off the topic of planning. So I don't know if I mean, we're already in an hour. So
Yeah.
I don't want to get into just like answering a bunch of questions while we're on here, especially that don't have to do with like the planning. But
Yeah.
I will say definitely to Camilla's, and this really works for a lot of different things. Put a date on the calendar.
Yep.
Put a date and commit to it. And that is one of the best ways that you will figure it out. If you are committed to it and you want to do it, and you can set a realistic date of when to launch it, then you can reverse engineer when to do all of the other stuff and when to figure it all out. And if you feel that passionate about what you have to offer will serve someone, even one person,
True.
get it on the calendar.
True. Good answer, Jamie. So Diana, she says another Friday about that. So this is great. This gives us an idea for another topic to talk about. So that's awesome. Thanks, Diana.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
and now we've got people asking each other questions in there too. Robin's asking Gidget a question. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you all hanging out with Jamie and I. I had a great time. I hope you did too. I think this was a really hot topic. Sometimes, we do get off topic a little bit, but Jamie is helping us to frame it back in. But this is good. Just like, Diana giving us ideas for, future coffee chats. So that is great. All right. Well, I hope that you all had a wonderful time. You're welcome, Jan. You're welcome, everyone. Robin. Yeah. You've all been amazing. And don't forget to spread the love for our coffee chats. If you know anyone that would like to come in here and hang out with us, please tell them about this. All right. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Anything you want to say before we end, Jamie?
Well, I was just wondering, we hadn't talked about, in 2 weeks is the Friday right before Christmas. So I didn't know for sure if we were going to do that one. And then if not, then this would probably be the last coffee chat that we do for the year. So we hadn't talked about that. So be looking in both of our free groups for, and the events that we put on our page if we're going to do another one before the end of the year.
Yes.
Because we haven't talked about it.
The next one will be on Jamie's page. And yeah, we'll chat about it. But things have gotten a little messed up because of my jury duty, which I have to go to, because our coffee chat was supposed to be like next Friday, but we did this one because of, I got to be in court again. Oh my goodness gracious. But anyway, we will not leave you hanging. We'll let you know on our pages or in our free groups and all that stuff. And we look forward to hanging out with you again, having another coffee chat. Cheers to everyone. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yep. Happy Friday. Bye, everybody.